Well, hello, and welcome to another episode. It's Friday, y'all, so this episode is about a story time. And as you know, we are walking along or reading along Table for One, the single girls, what is it, the Savvy Girls Guide to Singleness, right? So we are celebrating this season of our lives. But before we get started, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. I promise you, we have some really good tips on the antidote to the single girl's blues, right? So before we get started though, let's go ahead. I hope everybody is doing good today. I am doing good on this Friday. Well, here we go. We're going to Grandma's cookie jar and we are going to see what nugget Grandma's cookie jar has for us today, right? And Grandma's cookie jar today tells us to, it says, being happy never goes out of style. Oh, goodness. Let that one just resonate with you. How about everything's gonna be super duper? Well, okay. Well, all right then. I guess if you're reading through, we're gonna keep those in mind, right? Well, I hope everybody is doing good. And we're talking about the antidote to the single girl blues. So before we get started reading on in the book, I'm gonna put on my sexy specs and we are going to get started, right? We can all use some great tips on, how to get through this whole singleness thing. I think I'm a little crooked over here. Maybe I didn't press some little sexy specs. I don't know. I think that's right. Well, anyway, I hope everybody is doing great today. Ooh, got my lemon, honey, and ginger back today. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue reading. We were talking about, we were on chapter 2, and we're talking about the antidote for the single girl blues, right? I know we all have our go-to stuff, like we talked about, well, one thing, we have this big old bed to ourselves and we can fluff our pillows around it, and need to say that, put your pillows on the side of you and in the back of you and make sure that you land in the middle of the bed so you don't feel like you're in the bed by yourself. I always said though, all of the things that you like, your fluffy pillows and, your nice plush carpet on. So when you step outside the bed, you can make your atmosphere so amazing and incredible that you just really enjoy it, right? So pamper yourself, right? I think that's amazing. So one of the things that she talk about in the antidote for the single girl blues is she talk about becoming your own best friend, right? Because sometimes you don't have somebody to talk to or to share things with. So being able to give yourself that self talk, especially when sometimes you jump into maybe a pity party and you kind of seeing the glass half empty instead of the glass half full. So whenever you get into those kind of moods or those kind of swings or what have you, I think one of the great things though, you can dance around and dance like nobody is watching and have yourself a good old time, right? But I think it's just really all in the state of mind, how we see things, right? This is what I do, right? And I find myself just tickling myself sometimes, and it's like, oh my goodness, okay, you can dance around. Nobody will see you dancing your crazy dances. I love music and I love dance, so and I learned something new about myself. I learned that I like piano, right? And so listening to piano and getting into my meditation or getting into some nice blues and just really getting to know ourselves. I think, because the world is so fast paced and everything is just, rush to get married, rush to get divorced, rush to do this, rush to do that, rush. We don't take the time to stop. And yes, I'm going to quote my dad. He used to say, girl, if you don't stop and smell the roses, he used to tell me that all the time, baby, stop and smell the roses. And I think that's what we don't give ourselves the opportunity to, because everything is so fast paced. And sometimes we just have to slow it down a little bit and enjoy what's right in front of us. One of the things that she talk about is that she talk about this in the Census Bureau, and she talk about not being so in a hurry to to get married, because when you do that, you risk the possibility of settling and then becoming miserable in marriage or even becoming one of the divorce statistics. So there's nothing wrong with taking your time and letting it simmer, right? Enjoying the season that you're in. And then when you do go into a marriage or a relationship, you're a whole person, right? You're not relying on somebody else to make you happy, right? Or to keep you there. You're actually looking at what it takes for you to be happy. So you're that whole 7 Up pound cake, right? That don't even need no frosting, but the frosting just make it pop, especially when it's that good lemon frosting, right? Alrighty, so she talked a little bit about self-talk and what is it that we're saying when we talk to ourselves. Are we comparing ourselves to somebody else? Because y'all know what? Come a little closer. The grass might be dyed on the other side, y'all. So don't always look over there to the other side. Play in your own field and figure out what it is that you really want, right? If you ask people, which I've done, ask people, what is it that you really like, girlfriends, like, what is it that you really want? And people can say the superficial things or the outer, but really, what is it that you want out of your life and then out of your relationship? I was listening to Judge Taller because everybody knows Judge Lynn Taller is my favorite. I just, I don't know, you can have people around you that you look at how they present themselves and and really the wisdom that they were willing to share with somebody and really really it's like, oh, she could be a family member, she really could be a family member, right? Wise auntie, but she's probably not, I don't even know how old she is, but she's not probably not old enough to be my auntie, but hey, she could be my sister, right? Anyways, what do you say when you're talking to yourself, and are we basing that on any type of real facts or real information? Because the statistics from the U.S. Census Bureau, she talked about that in her book, that people who wait until their 30s to marry experience a much lower divorce rate. Well, I'm past all that, but but again, for the single ladies, the young ladies that are watching as well, so if you want a better possibility of staying married, they say after 30, right? Although married men are reported to be happier than single men, single women are reported to be happier than married women. Let me say that again. I don't know if that came out right. Let's say that again. Although married men are reported to be happier than single men, so married men are happier than single men, single women are reported to be happier than married women. Doesn't that help us to stop and just think a little bit? Wait a minute. Might be something to that, right? Because sometimes we're only thinking about the destination. We're only thinking about the destination. And it's like, wait a minute. Did I really think that through, right? So she also talks about there's one thing, there's a challenge, and there's an assignment. So everybody get your notebooks out, get out your handy dandy journals, and we're going to have an assignment. And the assignment is to write down 25 things about yourself, 25 great things about you. And see, oftentimes when you're talking to each other, we're talking to our girlfriends, and we're like, we talk to each other, and if we ask the other one, name 25 great things about yourself. And sometimes we can't do that. And I think that's where part of the problem lies. Thinking about the great things about yourself, whether it's your smile, your personality, your charm, your ability to troubleshoot, all of these things sometimes we take up for granted, but that might be your gift where it's challenging for somebody else, but that's your gift. So the focus can be on you for a change, right? So she talks about that in her book. She talks about think about your unique qualities. If you can't come up with 25, then you might have to assign that to another girlfriend and tell you 25 great things about yourself, right? Going on a little bit further, talk about also you can let your married friends be your guide, right? You can talk to them about, ask them, what are the things that you miss about your singleness? And if they're a girlfriend and they really tell you the truth, you can really, not that they're saying one or the other is better than the other, but they can help to guide you so that you don't feel so like you're so missing out, right? So we talked about, that's a great, because we paint that the married picture is just that's the ultimate goal, right? Or that's having a great life. But can't we have a great life as a single? I mean, I think there's so many things that we can enjoy, right? They talked about a couple of things was, like some of the things that we miss being that we miss when we're not married is companionship, security, procreation if you're looking to have more children, which I'm not, y'all. But procreation, and also the practice of fun, right? And love, affirmation, and those type of things, and sharing love and sharing time with somebody, right? But then they say when you flip it on the other side, we look at all the benefits. Are we looking at things, half the glass half full or the glass half empty? Which way are we looking at it, right? So we can talk about, sometimes when you talk to a married woman, she may tell you that, I would trade some of this, for some of what you have any day, right? The ability to be close to your girlfriends, the freedom to go out and eat with your friends on the spur of the moment, not having to check in with somebody, a weekend that you can just pack up and you can go. That's again the ability to travel, take time doing a swing lesson or whatever, or dance lesson, because maybe your husband don't want to do it or he's not interested in it. Buying 50 pair of shoes. Now y'all know, pump the brakes. Not the 50 pair of shoes, because we were working on our purse and getting our finances in order and making sure that we're diversifying our assets. So our assets, right? So I'm not talking about going buy 50 pair of shoes, y'all, okay? But the ability to be able to do that without sneaking them in, right? And just having the ability to enjoy a happier singlehood is what I'm saying. Not putting down one or the other, because they each have their amazing benefits. But sometimes if you just really, really focus in on the grass again, all the benefits of being married, if you think about that versus enjoying and embracing your singleness, right? If you do that, then sometimes you will walk around in a pity party and you can have a glow being single and enjoying it, right? So one of the ways to celebrate your singleness, she talks about treating yourself. What is it that, like I always say, celebrate our like achievement, even when it's a little achievement, something that maybe you said, this project I'm going to get it done. Go celebrate it. Go buy yourself a hat, right? I'm looking for some more hats, y'all. Go buy yourself a hat, or go get your nails done. Maybe or something. Treat yourself, but at least once a week. Treat yourself and celebrate you. Buy yourself some flowers, or they have those little fruit baskets, right? And I love those little fruit baskets. Buy yourself a fruit basket. Enjoy and celebrate yourself, right? Really get to know yourself. What is it that you really, really, really enjoy? What is it? I just started really watching Divorce Court. We did a segment on Divorce Court, and I just really, really enjoyed the lessons. I saw a couple of the reviews, and some of the ladies said, I didn't even realize that I was watching it for entertainment, but I really enjoy getting the lessons out of it, because when you sit there and you watch Divorce Court and you hear some of the issues and you were like, oh my goodness, maybe you related to that in a relationship, or maybe, whew, gosh, that bully, right? Or girl, you didn't see that coming, or or even he didn't see that coming, right? Because it's not just one sided here. These dating streets are something else, right? So you talked about celebrating your singleness and attacking your dreams. Like seriously, what is it that you want to? What is it that you want to accomplish? Like what are your dreams? What are your goals? What are your desires? What is it that you want to accomplish? And just even if it's something like like I just found, well, I didn't just find it out, but I know eventually I want to take a photography class, because I love looking at, I can see a picture in something. You can look out the window and see the beauty in outside, or like the trees. Even during this snowy time that we have in Michigan, I can look out and I see how pretty the snow glistens off of the trees, and I think that would make a beautiful picture. So, actually, so just finding out the things that are, the things that you like to do, really, really taking that time. I have a couple other books on singleness when we finally get through Table for One, but this is one of my favorites. But reading your book and taking your time out to really understanding yourself. And so it's so funny when somebody asks you this dreaded question. You know how they ask you the question? Do you know what the question is? The question is, what's a nice girl like you doing still single? When they ask you that question, if you've done all of the things that we just talked about, you can say, I am having the time of my life, right? And you can mean it. And that's what's so important about it. You can mean it. So I hope that helps somebody, going through that chapter. And again, this is a great book. It's a great read. I'm having a time of my life reading through it. And like I said, I unwind by going over listening to a couple episodes of Divorce Court, right, with Judge Lynn Taller. Anyhow, I hope you got something out of today. Don't forget to listen, learn, and leverage the information. Like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. And I will see you all next time. Bye for now, and stay fearless.